development goals in Tampa Bay. I'm Emma Phillips.
I'm Haley McCann.
I'm Ronaldo Central.
Okay, so I had no poverty. The main goal in this category is being able to make sure that everyone is able to eat enough and have the funds and basic needs in our society. When doing research, I found that there are many Christian organizations that are trying to help by eliminating poverty in the Tampa Bay area. But the main organization I saw was Metropolitan Ministries. I have also had a privilege with working with Metropolitan Ministries before, and they allow free housing for their guests and free daycare. And they also just like help families get back up on their feet. And they have like meal plans and other things to access that can help you start a new life. So, um, and then this is the poverty rate trend in a bunch of different cities, but mainly Tampa Bay. You can see how the poverty has decreased over time. In Tampa Bay, the rate of poverty has been going down over the past few years, but is not completely gone. In Tampa Bay, the rate of poverty is actually 16.8%. And the total cost of living in Tampa Bay has become 1.3% higher than it ever has been before. And in Tampa Bay, a current single adult has to make over $100,000 a year to be able to live comfortably in Tampa Bay without with just like having access to the basic needs and stuff like that. And even though the diagram shows that poverty has decreased in Tampa Bay, prices are still rising every single day. And then these are the faith-based organizations. So, World Vision is an organization that is Christian-based, and they just help, especially with like children funding for children. You can pay a certain amount a month so that like you can help fund their food and their education. And then Metropolitan Ministries is also a Christian based organization, and they just help families get restarted. And as I previously stated in the other slide, they help with things such as like housing, food, daycare. Hope Village of America is their goal is to help individuals, families facing hunger and homelessness, and they also help get back on their feet as well. And then New Life Warehouse is an organization that helps mainly with like furniture and getting those needs for a house one day. So, and then our plan, helping others find a solid income. By getting a solid income, it allows people to learn how to budget and manage their money. Donating to organizations that were previously stated helps those organizations continue to run and help others get back up on their feet. And then supporting small businesses. There's so many small businesses, and just by helping small businesses rather than like a big brand really helps just like local income. And then food plans, having food stamps to help families who don't have the money for groceries to get back up on their feet. And then eventually one day they'll be able to buy their own groceries and be financially stable.
All right, as for SCG number 2, Zero Hunger, it pertains to the field of food and agriculture as it offers solutions and new developments in the fight against world hunger. This field ranges from farming, transportation, all the way to waste management. There were several examples of religious organizations setting up events to feed those in need, especially at the community level, where in most cases such events are funded by the donations and offerings of their followers. Most other religions do this in their own way as well, as feeding the hungry is globally seen as a noble goal that aligns itself with the teachings of multiple religions worldwide. Now, in the case of Christianity, they believe of sharing with those in need is a core value rooted deeply in their structures, in the scriptures. An example of this being, "For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in." From the book of Matthew. Around 65% of Tampa is Christian, meaning that to some extent, roughly 65% of the Tampa Bay community shares a similar value on feeding the hungry and sharing with those in need. Regardless of this, the issue of food insecurity is no stranger to the Tampa Bay area. Food insecurity refers to the state of not having a reliable source of food and nourishment And some reasons a person or family could be struggling with food insecurity could be financial. They lack the funds to buy their own food. Economic. Historically, the economy has fluctuated, which can make it difficult for many to secure goods, as it is, without even taking into consideration any pandemics or international conflicts that may be occurring. And then natural disasters, where sometimes in the event of a natural disaster, entire communities may struggle to get back on their feet. Just to name a few of the following organizations, they help feed, shelter, and teach people in need, but whether religiously affiliated or not, they all share the same mission to help those in need. Within Tampa, there are organizations like Meals on Wheels, which is a nonprofit dedicated to feeding the elderly. 360 Eats, which works locally to increase food distributions and reduce waste. And Feeding Tampa Bay, which organizes volunteer work to reduce food insecurity and incite social change. Now, at a global scale, there are organizations such as Food for the Hungry, which designs, develops, and delivers solutions worldwide to lift communities. World Hunger Relief, which teaches the hungry how to grow and sustain their very own food source. And finally, World Vision, which provides clean water, food, health, and disaster relief worldwide. The idea of feeding the hungry is an ancient and noble cause that various other organizations are working toward on a daily basis. That said, the steps anyone can follow to make a difference in the fight against food insecurity can be broken down into 3 simple steps. The first one being reach out. Find an organization, whether listed or not, and get in touch. They may be global or local, but for the sake of convenience and consistency, find one near you. 2, participate. And upon reaching out, look for any ways you can participate in the fight, whether through donations, volunteer work, or even promoting their work. And 3, spread the word. Invite others to take part in the fight and help the voices of those in need to reach the right ears in any way you can. Remember, the internet can be a very strong ally.
Goal 4 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals is quality education. The goal of this SDG is to provide equal access and opportunity education to everyone around the world. Regardless of one's race, gender, age, or religion, everyone should have the right to pursue a quality education. This goal promotes providing a primary education to children all around the world in order to foster important literacy and numeracy skills. Additionally, this goal hopes to encourage lifelong learning and higher education opportunities. This will help further generations so that they can promote economic growth and sustainable development. Some global issues that are seen in education are that by 2030, 84 million kids will be out of school, according to the UN. This is due to low-income countries lacking proper funding and infrastructure, as well as global teacher shortages, conflicts, and gender inequality. According to World Bank, in low-income countries, female enrollment in primary school is 78% and only 31% in secondary school, compared to the global averages of 88% and 66%. The goal of SDG 4 is to close the gender gap and improve opportunities for everyone around the world. Some local issues in the Tampa Bay area that need to be addressed are, for example, the graduation rate in economically disadvantaged students is 79.31% compared to the standard 85.7%. Additionally, the state of Florida is ranked 50th in average pay for teachers. This causes teachers to struggle to make a living wage and often forces them to work multiple jobs. This has led to a serious teaching shortage, with Hillsborough County in particular having the most vacancies within the state of Florida. The lack of qualified teachers has negatively impacted students' performances as well as mental health due to a lack of support and guidance. The importance of education is emphasized greatly in many religious teachings. Christianity, for example, promotes the acquisition of knowledge and wisdom as it promotes discipline and morals. Because of this, there are many Christian organizations with a mission to promote education for less privileged children. Among these, we have World Vision, as we've talked about, which is a global organization. They work with thousands of children from less developed areas as well as those with disabilities, and their goal is to provide a safe and inclusive learning environment for everyone. Locally, some faith-based organizations we have is Faith Tampa Bay and Kingdom Kids of Tampa Bay. Both of these organizations focus on kids from Title I schools, and they focus on providing the support, connecting them with the proper resources they need, and feeding these kids. In order to combat educational issues in the Tampa Bay area, one project that can be implemented easily is a nonprofit, volunteer-based tutoring program. Tutors can oftentimes be a privilege that is taken for granted, and many families may not be able to afford the extra help their students may need. This project will allow these students to receive any extra help they need and encourage them to stay in school and do their best. Here are references. And thank you very much.